Welcome back to TV Days Drama Digest. Today is a fantastic day to dive deep into the scandalous, heartbreaking, and absolutely mind-blowing events coming up in Salem next week. Grab your coffee, settle in, and prepare yourselves, because the drama we are about to unpack is piping hot and guaranteed to leave you speechless. We have an absolutely massive week ahead of us in Salem, and honestly, I am still trying to process everything that is about to go down. From miraculous new beginnings to the unearthing of dark, deeply buried secrets, the writers are truly giving us everything we could possibly ask for. Here at TV Days Drama Digest, we live for these moments of pure, unadulterated soap opera magic. The upcoming episodes are a perfect storm of emotional reunions, toxic relationship breaking points, and classic Dimera corporate espionage. We are going to see legacy families expanding, old wounds being ripped wide open, and some of the most intense psychological drama this show has delivered in months. Are you ready to break down every single juicy detail? Because we are not holding anything back today. Let us kick things off with some much needed joy and light in the often dark and gloomy town of Salem. You guys, it is finally happening! After what feels like an eternity of suspense and nail-biting anxiety, Johnny and Chanel are finally holding their precious newborn daughter in their arms. Can you believe it? The sheer amount of trauma and heartbreak these two have endured just to get to this moment is staggering. From the terrifying miscarriage scares to the relentless family drama surrounding them, this young couple has fought tooth and nail for their happy ending. Seeing the pure, unadulterated love radiating from these proud parents as they look down at their baby girl is guaranteed to bring tears to your eyes. It is a moment of pure television magic. But here is the kicker. What on earth are they going to name this beautiful little girl? The naming of a child in Salem is never just a simple decision. It is a heavy, emotionally charged declaration of family legacy. This baby is the ultimate successor character, blending the chaotic, ruthless Demera bloodline with the strong, resilient Price and Carver heritage. Will they honor the late, great Susan Banks? Or perhaps they will pay tribute to Paulina, who has been through her own medical hell recently. There is even a strong possibility they might name her after Lexi Carver. Whatever name they choose, this child represents a beacon of hope for the next generation of Salemites. The psychological weight on Johnny is immense. He is a Demera, but he desperately wants to break the cycle of toxicity that his father, EJ, perpetuates. Holding his daughter, you can see the absolute determination in Johnny's eyes to be a better man, a better father, and to shield his new family from the dark shadows of the Demera mansion. Speaking of fathers desperately trying to protect their children, we have to talk about Chad Demera. Next week, Chad is going to be beaming with an overwhelming sense of joy as he is finally reunited with his beloved children, Thomas and Charlotte. Honestly, my heart just aches for Chad every single time I see him with those kids. The brutal, unsolved trauma of Abigail's murder still hangs over that family like a suffocating black cloud. Chad has been stumbling through the dark ever since, trying to navigate the treacherous waters of single fatherhood while dealing with his own crippling grief and a string of incredibly messy romantic entanglements. The slow-paced plot of Chad's recent love life has been frustrating for many fans, but this reunion with his children brings him right back to his core purpose. When he pulls Thomas and Charlotte into his arms, you can visibly see the shattered pieces of his soul temporarily knitting back together. Those kids are his entire world, his anchor to sanity in a town that constantly tries to drag him under. The psychological profile of Chad right now is that of a man who is terrified of losing anyone else he loves. He overcompensates, he makes rash decisions, but underneath it all, he is just a grieving widow trying to keep his family intact. This heartwarming reunion is a stark reminder of what is truly at stake for the youngest Demera brother. And you will not believe what happens next on the other side of town. Brace yourselves, because Jack Devereaux is officially back in Salem. I know, I was screaming at my screen too. It does not take long for Jack to cross paths with the two people who have caused him arguably the most grief and complication in recent years, Gwen and her ever-present chaotic best friend, Leo Stark. The tension in this scene is so thick you could cut it with a knife. Jack approaches his estranged daughter, and all the anger, all the betrayal, all the bitter history just seems to melt away, leaving behind a completely vulnerable, broken man. He looks at Gwen, his voice cracking, and asks, "Can I get a hug from my daughter?" Wow. That single line is a masterclass in emotional storytelling. Let us do a deep dive into the absolute mess that is the Jack and Gwen dynamic. Gwen Rizchek is a character defined by her severe, crippling daddy issues. She spent her entire life feeling abandoned, watching from the outside as Jack played the perfect father to Abigail. When she finally came to Salem, her pain manifested into pure destructive vengeance. She has lied, she has manipulated, and she has caused irreparable damage to the Devereaux family. But beneath that hardened, cynical exterior is a terrified little girl who just wants her father to love her. Jack asking for a hug is the ultimate olive branch. It bypasses all the logic, all the past sins, and strikes right at the core of their biological bond. Will Gwen allow herself to be vulnerable? Or will her defensive walls slam shut, encouraged by the ever-cynical Leo Stark? Leo's presence in this scene is fascinating. He acts as Gwen's protector, her toxic enabler, and her fiercely loyal confidant. Seeing Jack navigate the minefield of Gwen's emotions, with Leo standing guard, is going to be riveting television. While families are trying to heal, romantic relationships are absolutely crumbling to dust. Things are taking a disastrous turn for Stephanie and Alex. If you have been following my channel, you know I have had some very strong opinions about this pairing. A thoroughly frustrated, emotionally exhausted Stephanie finally confronts Alex, and she does not hold back. She lays it all out on the table, making it crystal clear that their current dynamic is completely unsustainable. "We cannot keep going like this," she tells him, her voice laced with a mixture of anger and profound sadness. And Alex, in his typical infuriatingly arrogant manner, looks at her with utter confusion and asks, "What are you talking about?" "Are you kidding me, Alex? How can one man be so incredibly dense?" This confrontation has been a long time coming. The slow-paced plot of their relationship has been a masterclass in toxic cycles. Alex Kyriakis operates with this suffocating level of arrogance and entitlement. He constantly steamrolls over Stephanie's feelings, dismisses her boundaries, and acts as if his mere presence is a gift she should be grateful for. Stephanie, on the other hand, is an independent, intelligent woman who has simply run out of patience. The psychological disconnect between them is massive. Alex thinks grand gestures and physical chemistry can fix fundamental personality clashes, while Stephanie is craving emotional maturity and genuine partnership. Is this the official, final nail in the coffin for this couple? Honestly, I hope so. Stephanie deserves a partner who actually listens to her, not a giant man-child who cannot read the room. This breakup scene is going to be explosive, and I am entirely on Team Stephanie. Now, let us shift gears from romantic drama to pure, unadulterated suspense. We are heading over to Marlena's office, where things are getting incredibly intense. Kat is undergoing another grueling hypnotherapy session with the legendary doctor. Evans. Marlena, using her iconic soothing voice, guides Kat deep into her subconscious, trying to unlock the heavily repressed memories of her mysterious time in Italy. "You are at the clinic now," Marlena gently instructs her, attempting to piece together the terrifying puzzle of what exactly happened between Kat and EJ Demera. This storyline is giving me classic Days of Our Lives chills. The trope of the secret Demera clinic in Europe is a staple of this show, and it never fails to deliver massive plot twists. What did EJ do to Kat? The psychological trauma Kat is carrying is immense. The mind is a fragile thing, and when it forcibly buries memories, it is usually because the reality of the trauma is too horrific to process. Marlena's role here is crucial. She is the ultimate master of unraveling these tangled webs of the mind. As Kat's memories begin to surface, we are going to see the dark, manipulative underbelly of EJ Demera exposed. EJ has been playing the role of the refined, legitimate businessman for a while now, but we all know the ruthless spirit of Stefano Demera courses through his veins. And speak of the devil, EJ is currently in a state of absolute, unhinged panic. Over at the Demera mansion, the facade is crumbling. The spoiler reveals EJ frantically pacing the floor, barking aggressive orders into his phone. He is desperately trying to control the narrative and manage the fallout of whatever secrets Kat is about to uncover. He strictly commands the person on the other end of the line to get to someone named George immediately and ensure that he keeps the Cora Seal situation completely quiet. What in the world is the Cora Seal situation? This is the kind of suspense that keeps us glued to our screen. Is Cora Seal a front company? A dangerous experimental drug used at the Italian clinic? And who is George? Could it be a new character, or perhaps a deep-cut reference to someone from Salem's past? The fact that EJ is losing his cool so spectacularly tells us everything we need to know about the gravity of this secret. EJ operates best when he is in total control, manipulating the chess pieces from his comfortable mansion. But right now, the board is being flipped. His psychological state is fracturing under the pressure of his own lies. He is terrified of losing his power, his reputation, and possibly his freedom. The walls are closing in on EJ Demira, and I am here for every single second of his spectacular downfall. Finally, we have to talk about what is undoubtedly going to be the most emotionally devastating, tear-jerking moment of the entire week. Theo Carver is going to sit down and read the final letter left to him by his late mother, the incredible Lexi Carver. Lexi left strict instructions that this letter was only to be read by Theo after she passed away, and the time has finally come for him to open it. I am getting emotional just thinking about this. Lexi Carver was a powerhouse character, a brilliant doctor who constantly struggled to balance her inherently good nature with the dark legacy of being Stefano Demera's daughter. Her death left a massive void in Salem, especially for her husband Abe and her son Theo. For Theo, who navigates the world differently due to his autism, his mother was his fiercest advocate and his safest harbor. Reading her final words, feeling her love reach out to him from beyond the grave, is going to be an incredibly profound experience for him. Why is this letter being read now? What final piece of wisdom, or perhaps what final, shocking secret, did Lexi leave behind for her son? This moment is a beautiful tribute to a beloved character and a massive step forward in Theo's personal growth. It anchors the high-stakes Demera drama with raw, authentic human emotion. That wraps up our deep dive into the explosive events hitting Salem next week. From the birth of a new legacy baby to the unearthing of dangerous Italian secrets, Days of Our Lives is firing on all cylinders. What do you guys think? Will Gwen accept Jack's hug? Is Alex and Stephanie's relationship truly dead and buried? And what on earth is the Core Seal situation? Let me know all your wild theories in the comments below. Thank you so much for tuning into TV Day's Drama Digest. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. We will be right here waiting to see what happens next in Salem.